All right, wherever you are, I'm glad that you're still with us here on Morning at NTV. It's Good Friday, and if the scripture, as we always do, is anything to go by, today is a conquering of death, so to speak. And as Christians across the globe do mark the Easter festivities, there's a lot that is going to happen, especially when it comes to eating and feasting. And here on Morning at NTV, as we do always, we care about your health. We care about the how of eating, how you consume, what you consume, and when you consume that. We are going to be talking about how to pick your Easter feast. Of course, I know when the money is available and the items are on display, there's a tendency to go for everything that you can put your hands to. But what we want to discuss today is that you can actually be very deliberate and intentional. I have with me in the studio a nutritionist who has the knowledge of how and what you should be eating. Daniel Kamara will be talking to us very shortly, as will Agnes Kirabo, the Executive Director at the Food Rights Alliance. But as we prepare for that conversation, I would just like to inform you that the Way of the Cross is now on, and Christians from across Kampala and its metropolitan areas are engaging in that. Our man on the ground hopefully will bring us that a little bit later. But Mr. Daniel Kamara and Ms. Agnes Kirabo, welcome to Morning at NTV.
Thank you. Good morning, viewers. Good morning.
Hey, Good Friday.
Yeah.
Somebody was confused a little bit earlier. Since it's Good Friday, should we say Happy Good Friday or just keep it to Good Friday?
Since we are carrying the cross, we can literally say Good Friday.
Okay, all right. Now, the big question that could be an elephant in many people's rooms out there is food.
Because food is an independent variable. Literally all other things depend on food.
Depend on food.
Including life.
Including life. I know. I've engaged severally with Madame Agnes Kirabo, and I love her campaign and works around the Food Rights Alliance initiative. Let me first begin with Mr. Kamara. He's joining us for the very first time on Morning at NTV. Food, like you've just said, it's an independent variable. Me, what I want to hear right now, how do I celebrate by using food in the best possible way?
In this Easter season? Yeah. Thank you so much, Chris. So viewers, if you want to eat very well for this Easter season, one wouldn't want actually to deviate from the health eating plate. The health eating plate stands even amidst the Christmas festivities. For example, the health eating plate has 3 parts. The biggest part has fruits and vegetables, and the next half has 2 quarters, one having carbohydrates, the next a protein. So this health eating plate helps you to meet all your dietary requirements. So for example, you all know that 89% of men do not add a vegetable or fruit daily on their plate, and 88% of women, they do not add the fruit or vegetable daily on the plate. Yet the WHO recommends that everyday person should eat 5 portions. A portion, we usually tell them that it is equivalent to your feast. So every day you should meet.
Feast of greens.
Yes.
And fruit.
Yes, so 5 portions every day. So this Easter, it could be one of the best ways to meet the dietary requirements, especially for fruits and vegetables. And as every person knows that at least 40% of the total hospital admissions right now are related to non-communicable diseases. This is a wake-up call due to the rise of the non-communicable diseases that we should pay attention. The diabetes has increased. In the last 2016, we were at 1.4, and now we at 3. So 3 in 10 Ugandans are living with diabetes. And of course, we should take very serious. The mouth is one of the major problems. In this Easter, please do not be told that you have a sweet tooth, that you cannot, you know, there are those simple words that people use to masquerade around to eat unhealthy. But yet, health eating belongs to you. And the decision that you make, actually, they determine how we look. Often tell them that you are what you eat. So the whole figure of you, the way you present, is the way you eat. And most people do not take it badly, but just because that's the way you eat.
Let me just make it a little bit lighthearted here. When you say you are what you eat, me, I'm 6'5". What do you think I eat? That's on a lighter note. Madam Kirabo, Easter is upon us.
Yes.
I know you have a lot of messages around that, but Ugandans need to pay attention to critical aspects when it comes to nutrition and how they consume their food. But also the quality of the food is important, because on the market we see variations, some that are really, really detrimental, especially when it comes to expiry dates and stuff like that. Just take us through what we need to pay attention to.
Thank you so much, Chris. First and foremost, Good Friday to all of the believers. And we thank God who has given us yet another tenure to witness this particular day.
Wow.
Any event, the biggest memory people carry from an event is not the decor that you have done, it's not the dressing, it's not the music.
It is food.
It is actually the food.
Exactly.
And for me, in my family, when we have an event, and at any event, if you invite me for a fundraising, my contribution will go to the food item. I don't care whether you'll eat it while seated on the ground or where you're standing, but provided. So feasting, food is part of the feasting. And even as we celebrate Easter, the whole journey that Christ moved and lived on earth was a journey characterized by him giving food to the people that he preached. He did not only preach to the soul, he also preached to the body. So the issue of food remains central in the Easter celebration and the celebration, the life, the death, and the resurrection of Christ to those that believe like me. And what is the unfortunate, Chris, is that even when food is a critical aspect of any celebration, any big moment and memorable moment for that matter, we are still living in a society where 4 households out of 10 will not be able to celebrate. They are struggling, and these are national statistics.
That's right.
And on the contrary, the other side where Daniel was speaking from, we are also seeing a rise in those that have overeaten. So we are living in a society characterized with inequality, injustice, and unfairness. This is the society that we are speaking to that is going to join the celebration. Therefore, if you're endowed, you've been honored with a lot, please, during this festive season, like the symbol that was done yesterday, please look around your neighborhood. 4 in every 10 households in your community.
That is right.
4 of those households are not going even to have the basic meal to eat. But also the other issue that has emerged in our food system is the issue of fraud and greed. If it is a festive season like this, then all the fraudulent acts and behaviors emerge in humanity. We are going to see a lot of adulterated food coming on the market. There is a lot of fraud. There is a lot of theft. We know in the communities, people are sleeping with their chicken, with their goats. But even those that have money are going to be robbed by buying expired foods. I warn you, better go to the market and pick a bunch of matoke that you can examine with your eyes. If you can avoid, one, they are not healthy. Avoid those processed, ultra-processed foods, We know that on the festive seasons we want to eat things we have never eaten or we've seen others eat. Please.
I know there are communities, especially those, the middle class, where shopping is not complete unless you've been seen with a trolley coming out of a supermarket.
And you're throwing nothing, you're throwing nothing, you know, but you're first tracking your death and you're first tracking occupying. Actually, Daniel, 50% of the beds in hospitals are occupied by NCD. Patients. So the adulterated food, the foods that are expired, the foods that are of very poor quality, the rotten chickens, the rotten meats, all those foods are going to be sold to you fraudulently, and therefore we need to be conscious that you don't lose your money, but at the same time you lose your life.
Interesting there. Let me use this opportunity not to dim the mood for the people that are gearing up for the festivities, but to allow us to delve into what should open our eyes on how we consume what and from where. She's just spoken about the abundance of expired foods on the market, and many of people will be offloading them so that people can buy them in bulk and take for celebration. Just like you know, the unscrupulous individuals who release a lot of effluent during the rain. The people are also going to do exactly this in supermarkets. And how should we go about establishing traditions in as far as eating is concerned on a daily basis? Because Easter, we could be looking at Easter alone, but on a daily basis, we need to focus. Should we have meal plans? What should that meal plan look like?
Well, that's an interesting question. So usually we encourage whole market shopping compared to hypermarkets. Madam Agnes has talked about the trolley shopping and all that business, but I want to encourage viewers to always do whole market shopping. The whole market shopping, we talk about Kalere, Nakasero and other markets that have whole foods, the foods you can touch, the cassava that you can see, that has the husk, the matoke that you can see, just like she said, rather going to buy the ones that you aren't aware, the ones already unskinned and all that business. Because remember, we want to always inform the people that at least 32% of the deaths, for example, in Uganda, are related to non-communicable diseases. So on a weekly basis, we encourage meal planning. When it is a Saturday, for example, you sit down with your family. You know the total number of people that you have in your household. You have anticipated visitors. That's why we've several told people, these days you'd no longer just go to Madame Agnes's home. You actually plan with her. And she lets you know when she's available.
You can be surprised.
Yeah, so it's very, very important for us to plan ahead so that you know how many cabbages you use, the many carbohydrates you use, you know, and then you plan ahead and buy. That actually saves money. A person who went to Kalere and shopped food for maybe for the whole week, and the one who went to the supermarket, the one for Kalere actually buys more food which is healthy compared to the hypermarkets.
All right, Daniel Kamara, many thanks for that perspective. Many thanks to you too, Agnes Kirabo. I know it's been a very brief interaction here, but it's all on account of the festivities, and of course we are emboldened by the advice that you have offered us in as far as nutrition and eating habits are